So he turned around and he ran back into the ring. And then I met him out back in the hall. I said, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Are you mental? And he said, I was really depressed. And I said, well, the next time you're depressed about winning a fight, go back in the back and be depressed, okay? Stand up there. It's Tito's last night. You know what I mean? Tito just won his fight. Stand there. Get your hand raised or Tito's hand raised. Do your interview and go. If you're bummed out, do it in the back, all right? And if you're bucking for Joe Rogan's fucking job, it isn't going to happen. That's Joe's job. Leave the microphone alone until Joe comes over and talks to you. You know, it drives me crazy. I love Forrest Griffin, always have. He's a great guy, but he gets a little kooky sometimes, you know?
Tito, congratulations. Just wanted to congratulate you on your career and being inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Question is for Chael. Chael to your left. Can you talk about the final sequence? First, the spinning back fist. What was going on there? And also, there seems to be some question about whether Anderson was holding onto your trunks and whether that prevented you from moving the way you might have wanted to move to get away from some of the punches. Can you comment on those two things?
Yeah, Anderson grabbed my trunks, but I grabbed his right back, man. It goes both ways, and we can't sit and nitpick, you know, some of that stuff. It's a two-man sport. It's kind of like moving the chains in football. It evens itself out, and what goes around comes around. If Anderson grabbed my shorts tonight, I'll grab somebody else's down the road.
And Chael, the spinning back fist, I mean, was that something, you know, we haven't seen you throw a lot of those. Was that something that you looked at on tape and thought maybe he might be vulnerable to?
Yeah, you know, there's always some opportunities, you know, and you're always trying to work on your skills. I feel like a doofus because I fell down, but, you know, we're in the middle of battle. There were some parts out there where I felt really good, and there were some parts that really hurt, including the end.
And then last question, in the first round, you took him down, I think, 4 seconds into the fight, but you didn't do the kind of damage you did in the first round the last time. Do you think that changed anything as the second round ensued?
I think so. You know, I'm always trying to find that good shot that, you know, can change the fight and start to wear a guy down, make him think twice. And, yeah, I wasn't able to find it.
This question's for Tito and Dana. How did you guys score the fight?
I wasn't looking for no score in the fight. I was looking to finish the fight. I thought I dropped him a few times, or a couple times. Took him down every round. Forrest was pitter-patting. I had no respect for his punching. Hit me with punches and nothing hurt. I don't know. The fans, you guys see the reaction of the fans. The fans see the fight. The judges, I just hope it doesn't happen the same way boxing happens. UFC is too great of a sport to be like that. I fought my heart. I fought with my soul. I fought the way I wanted to fight. I gave everything out there. After the fight was over, I had nothing left. We got fight of the night. I have no regrets. I went out and I fought with my soul, my heart, as every one of my fights I do. Forrest fought a good fight, pitter-pattered. I was trying to kill him, every punch. Maybe I should have took a little bit of steam off of him. But when you fight with emotions, as I do, shit happens. I fought with my soul, as I say. I went out and I thought I won. I thought the fight was over. Forrest thought the fight was over. The fans thought the fight was over. Just the judge didn't see it that way. It is what it is. I know I talked to a lot of other fighters tonight, and they thought the same thing too. I know what I did tonight. You guys know what I did tonight. I went out on my shield, as true warriors do, and I fought as a fighter that I am, with heart.
Is there any chance we can see you one more time?
Nah, I think I did what I wanted to do in this sport. I'm very thankful to Lorenzo Fertitta, Frank Fertitta, and of course Dana White for giving me the opportunity I've had. I was a kid who came from nothing. I have nothing to fall back on. My children have everything to fall back on now. They'll have private school, they'll have college, they can pick whatever college they want to go. I've done something for my family that I've never expected to do, and the only way I was able to do that is from Dana, is from Lorenzo and Frank. I went out and I gave my heart and soul. I've had back surgery, I've had neck surgery, I've had ACL replacement. I had 50% of my meniscus taken out 9 weeks ago, and I came in and I fought. I have no regrets. I came in to win. Judge didn't see it that way. As I say, I'm done. I did what I did. I went out the way I wanted to go, and that's as a warrior.
Tito, over here to your left. We kind of heard Dana's reaction to Forrest grabbing the mic, but I'd like to know yours. I'm sure that you've kind of envisioned
That was bullshit.
your final moments.
Come on, dude. You're going to be in the sport a lot longer. You understand, 15 years ago, May 30th, 1997, Joe Rogan was the first person to interview me. And I told him, I'm going to make a mark in this sport. He goes, just your first fight. I go, just wait. I'm going to make a mark in this sport. I helped build a sport that built me, the person I am today. And for Forrest to step in and do what he did after running, oh, well, man, I can't complain about anything. As I said, I fought and I did what I wanted to do. I wish Joe Rogan would have interviewed me, but that's what we got press conference for.
I sincerely apologize. I honestly wasn't thinking. I could see you guys have a ton of history. I apologize. I wish I could take that back, you know. I'm sorry.
Dana, quick question for you. After a fight like this, watching Anderson Silva, it doesn't seem like he's slowing down at all, but you talk about his age, and you mentioned the fact that this guy's 37, 38 years old. He's getting up there. So as a promoter, how do you approach booking his fights? Does it have to be this mega fight? It's kind of not like treating a normal champion just in terms of title defenses, or does it remain the same?
Yeah, no, it's amazing what the guy has been able to accomplish and continue to accomplish at his age. And that's the thing, nobody ever thinks about it. Nobody ever talks about it. Nobody ever says, this guy's pushing 40. And he's an amazing fighter. He's an incredible athlete. The guy is an artist with his hands and feet. It's just, where do you approach it? He didn't look like he's slowing down tonight. He fought a motivated, fired up, in shape, aggressive Chael Sonnen tonight. A Chael Sonnen who did what he said he was going to do. He put him on his back. He roughed him up like nobody else has again. And he came out and he won in the second round. The guy's a freak of nature. He is, I just think he's the greatest fighter of all time. So as far as making his fights, whoever's next.
So there is no feeling that as far as, well, we don't know how many times left we get to see this guy in the cage, so we got to make him count. It's just normal title defenses, business as usual.
It's true. Here's the thing about this sport. This is a young man's game. It really is. And as you get up, to the age that some of these guys are, one day you just show up and you're old. It just happens that fast. Things don't move the way they used to. You're not as fast as you used to be. You see the things coming, but you can't get out of the way. You see none of that with Anderson Silva. So who knows, man? Maybe this guy goes on. I was retiring Randy 10 years before he did, So who the hell knows?
Question for Dana. Dana, what can other fighters, especially as their profiles get higher and higher, learn from Chael Sonnen and how to promote a fight and how to sell a pay-per-view and really promote a fight that...
Let me make something very clear. Chael is a very funny guy. He's very smart. He's one of the most quick-witted human beings I've ever met. He just said some crazy shit to me out in the hall that made me laugh before we even came in here. Let me tell you what sold this fight. The first fight. The first fight is what sold this fight. Make no mistake. Don't say, oh, because Chael Sonnen says crazy things is what sold this fight. The crazy ass whooping he put on Anderson in the first fight, and the way that fight ended is what sold this fight. And that night, I said, after that fight ended, I said, this is the type of fight that makes legends right here. The fact that Anderson Silva pulled off that win after getting beat the way that he did for 5 full rounds, and at the last minute, he pulls out that submission and wins. That's what sold this fight.
And question for Kung Lee, now that you've got the first UFC win under your belt, how do you feel? And also, I love when you said this is for the 40-year-olds. I did it for all you guys.
I feel great. Stepped my foot in my eye, but I'm just kind of like in a dream state, so just very happy.
Chael, it seemed like you wanted to go for the takedown again early in the second round, weren't able to do it, and then came back with the spinning back fist move. Was that a move that you think you'll forever regret? Was it a move of overconfidence?
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch the match. I can't really recall what happened. Somebody told me after the fact. a spinning back fist. You know, I know I was on the ground. I know he kneed me, and we kind of went downhill from there. But yeah, I mean, anytime I can watch a tape, whether something goes good or something goes bad, you would always try to make improvements for the better.
Right here in the front row. Give her a mic here.
Victoria Bulahova, Russian Chicago Magazine. First question is for Damian. Coming out from your lose in January in Chicago, how important for you was to win today?
That for sure was the, you know, besides my title fight against Anderson was the most important fight of my life, because you know, that's the fight that I try to bring my jiu-jitsu back to the octagon, and especially in the new weight category, which was very important to me to see how I was going to do in this weight category, how I was going to be the weight cutting, and everything was, you know, was perfect. It was like I trained for, so I'm happy.
My next question is for Chael. Chael, over these 2 years, you probably learned a lot of things. What are the main ones from that?
You know, just to always work hard. You know, you get knocked down sometimes in life, and you got to just put one foot in front of the other. You got to learn to shake things off, and you got to keep your eye on the ball. And you know, you can't get depressed. You can't get down. Every single day, you got to get up. You got to make the most of it.
Next question, if you don't mind, will be for Chad. How do you feel about your win today? And were you looking for such a quick knockdown of the evening?
I feel great. You know, it always feels good to go through a hard camp and come in there and, you know, get it done quick. That's obviously the goal for every fight. Sometimes it doesn't go that way, but I'm feeling great right now. I mean, I had no injuries really in the camp and came away from that fight injury-free also, so I'm ready to get in there and fight again whenever they tell me. So whoever they put in front of me, hopefully I can get back to that title shot as quick as possible.
And my last question is for Dana. Right now, we just heard about the new event in November in China. How important for you to go on that market? And did you experience any difficulties on the way to get the fight down there?
Yeah, it's important. Every time we go into a new market, it's very important to, you know, to be successful. We just went to Japan. You know, we were trying to get into Japan for so long, and to do an event there, we finally got it off the ground, did it, and it was a huge success. Now we're going into China. And yeah, we're hoping to really introduce that country to the UFC and to mixed martial arts. I think that every time we go into a new country and put on a huge, great event, it starts to spark in every country. People start training, gyms start opening, and more fighters start to come out of those countries. Russia? I don't know how well I do in Russia, but yeah, it's funny you say that because I'm joking, but yeah, we're actually taking an event to Russia very soon, sooner than you would think. Okay, thank you.
Forrest, Tito, great fight, definitely fight of the night. For what it's worth, Tito, I had you winning round 1 and 3, so good fight to both of you. Question for Chael. Toward the end of the fight, there was a knee. Was that a good legal knee?
You know, I don't make those decisions, and I hate those rules anyway. You know, I'm an old school guy before we had rounds and weight classes and all that stuff, and we're in a lot better spot now. I don't propose we should go back to that, but I don't care about legal or illegal. I could see him. I could see it coming. That's just the way it goes.
God, I wish all the press conferences were like this.
Tito, you know, you're a face that has been around MMA and really pop culture for a number of years since the start. What comes after this for you? You know, you say your body is sort of, you know, it's taking the wear and tear. What's next for you as far as, you know, getting your face out there? Do you have aspirations to do anything with media, you know, in the future?
Vacation comes first, family time. You know, I think me and the boys and Jen are going to go on vacation, enjoy a month. I bought a fishing boat last year. I'm going to do a lot of fishing. I don't know, maybe some commentating. I'm going to continue to be successful, that's for sure. I ain't done. This is just a different chapter of my life. I I don't know, maybe some acting classes. You know, since Dana bags on me of how horrible of an actor I am, maybe I better go sharpen up on my skills as well as I did in the UFC. I think I could do the same thing in theatrical realm. It's just a matter of putting my hard work and dedication towards those things. I know it's going to be nice to live a normal life. No one understands what us fighters go through at all unless you're a fighter. It's the most loneliest sport in the world because we deal with our own demons, and we got to challenge ourselves each and every day. You know, I got great guys like Paul Lacanino, Jason Perillo, Aaron Rosa, the trainers that have put me through my camps each and every year the last 15 years to push me to the level that I needed to be to fight. But no one understands what us fighters go through. And when it comes to getting that cage, you got to understand it's the most lonely sport in the world because we got to defend ourselves and we got to do what we need to do. Now I get to live a normal life as you guys do. It's going to be exciting to drink what I want, to eat what I want, to have family time.
He's going to look like Matt Serra in a month.
Or look like Dana White, one or the other. No, I'm excited for the future, man. I'm good. Like I say, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to work. I've came from nothing. I have achieved everything in my life that I've wanted to do as a fighter. Thanks to Dana, Lorenzo, Frank Fertitta for giving me the opportunities that I've had. You know, me and Dana had our back and forth, but it was always just business to me. Nothing to be personal, and I'm excited for the future. I'm still young, man. I just turned 37. It'll be nice to live a normal life. So we'll see what the future holds for me.
Well,
opportunities will happen, and I'll take advantage of those opportunities as I've done the last 15 years in UFC.
Well, congrats on a beautiful career. Forrest, that's a win, in the win column there. You're a former champion, coming off of a win. What are you looking forward to possibly for your next fight?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it yet. I don't know. Any suggestions? I'm open.
Well, it was fight of the night. So, any fight with you involves usually, a barn burner.
I don't know. I guess thank you. I don't know. I just feel bad that I took Tito's moment from Joe. I really I didn't even think about it. Obviously, I was in a little weird mindset at the time. So sorry about that.
Hi, I've got a question down here. Obviously, now that that Anderson is here, if we can get it's over here, Karen, over here. If we can get just a quote from Anderson about how he feels about the knee and the fact that some people are debating whether or not that was legal.
The knee was legal. The knee was legal. We watched it on tape. The knee was legal. The ref called it legal. There's no need to talk about the illegal knee. There was no illegal knee.
Okay. Second question, Dana, for you is that Chad Mendes took out Cody McKenzie very quickly. Is there a shortage of opponents in his division for him? I mean, just recently he was fighting for the title, and then he fought Cody, and some people say that maybe Cody wasn't ready for that fight.
Yeah, that's for sure. Mendes is awesome, man. This kid's nasty. You saw it tonight that Cody was definitely out of his league tonight. And yeah, this kid, I mean, I don't even know what to say. Of course, we want to set him up with the best available opponent, and get him back in line for title contention. And he outclassed this kid so bad tonight, it was insane. Yes, that was probably one of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of smart people in this room, help me out here. Lopsided, yeah, that's one of them, but yeah, keep it, everything. Just keep thinking and keep saying it, and that's what this fight was here tonight. And it was a disjustice to him. We need to get him a better fight than that for his next fight. The kid is awesome. He looked incredible tonight. He outclassed him.
Yeah. And last question, Forrest. Is there any thought that you would have to retiring soon? You've got a win here. It's a nice win, and some of your cohorts are starting to hang it up. I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
Nice win. How can you call that a nice win?
No, I've definitely got some fights left in me.
Okay.
I'm just not calling out John Jones.
Hi.
He's going to fight Cody McKenzie next. I'm kidding.
Angel Cordero for the MMA Truth in Puerto Rico. Dana,
Anderson extends his win streak in the UFC, and he's keeping the middleweight division hostage. Is there any plan to make him move up or down?
I don't ever tell guys whether to move up or down. Anderson Silva is the greatest fighter in the history of mixed martial arts.
Have you ever
I'm in awe of this guy. I am really, I've said it for a long time. I think that he is the greatest fighter to ever be involved in mixed martial arts. This guy does things to people that other people can't do. He's 37, going on 38 years old. He doesn't look like he's slowing down. As new contenders come up in the 185-pound division, unless Anderson Silva calls me up on the phone and tells me he wants to go to 205. I talked to him before. He did 2 fights at 205, and he said he didn't want to do it. He wanted to stay at 85. I mean, if a guy is that great and that talented at 185 pounds, you've never, ever heard of Anderson Silva having trouble cutting weight. This was a hard cut for me. I don't think I can do this anymore. I mean, he never comes in looking frail. On the day of the weigh-ins, 185 pounds is the weight that he likes. It's the weight that he loves, and it's the weight that he has absolutely and completely dominated.
Great. Chael, I don't think we've ever seen Anderson respond or act the way he did on the conference call, on the initial press conference, and on the weigh-ins. But at the end of the fight, he embraced you and even asked for the Brazilian people to applaud you. What was running through your mind at the moment?
Well, that's the way you deal with combat. You always shake hands, and you always leave it in the octagon or in the ring or on the mat. Those are the rules, and I follow those same rules. That was great that he did it. It was very nice of him, man. The Brazilian fans have it down right. They back their guy. And North America is the only country in the world where we don't do that. And that's fine. But I really admire the Brazilian fans, including when I'm getting booed on the way in. I should be getting booed when I'm taking on their guy.
And one of the things, let me just jump in here for a second, that is always hysterical to me. Now, leading up to this fight, everybody was saying, Chael Sonnen crossed the line. He said things you shouldn't say. Da-da-da-da-da. Chael Sonnen is bad for the sport. He shouldn't be in this sport. Then, as we get closer to the fight, and this guy's listened to everything under the sun about his country, his family, his team, his this, his that, he gets angry. And the shoulder thing happens, and I wish it didn't. That's why I stand there. I'm not standing there to take fucking photos. I'm supposed to be there to make sure that thing doesn't happen. It happened so fast that I was upset with myself, and then I watched the replay, and I'm like, there's no way in hell I could have stopped that unless I didn't even let them get near each other. But then everybody says, Anderson Silva's horrible, he lost fans, this and that. Does everybody realize this is a fight? This is the fight business. This is what guys, not all the time guys are going to like each other, and they're not always going to be friendly, and it's not always going to be, we're not always going to live within the martial arts realm. It doesn't happen all the time. This is a fight, and this is the fight business.
Great. To finish, for Anderson, is there any ill will still for Chael?
Anderson, você tem sentimento mal contra o Chael ainda?
Thank you. Just to finish, Tito.
He said no.
Tito Ortiz, right here in the middle. Front row, right in the middle.
Tito. Right here.
Thank you for the memories, man.
As I said, thank you, man. I go out and every one of my fights, 27 fights, 28 fights, I think I made the fans happy. And I fought my ass off every single time. I have no regrets at all. It is what it is. I think I did my job well, and I'm thankful for everything the UFC's done for me.
Franklin?
Chael, I know that your goal is to be UFC middleweight champion, whether that comes against Anderson Silva or anyone else. Does that still remain your goal to be UFC middleweight champion after the performances you put on against arguably the best fighter in UFC history?
Well, I really believe if you're going to be in this company and you're going to take up a spot, that you've got to be chasing the championship. Don't be there just to be there's plenty of young guys that can come in and get their opportunity. And I had my chance, and then I got it again. And I'm not going to ask for anything. I'm grateful for it. I'll make those decisions later, but I will not hang around, not for one day, to blend in. It's either to be the world champ or move on and do something else.
And do you take, I know you prefer to win, but do you take anything from this fight? I mean, you can hold your head up, but do you take things from this fight knowing that the kind of fight you gave this man, you put him in a place that no one else has put him? Do you take any solace in that?
I don't. It's pass or fail when you're in there. You either get it done or you don't. I was handed a lot of compliments after the first fight. And I'm going, geez, guys, that's nice, but did you see who won the fight? I didn't win the fight. And it's pass or fail. That's it. And, he's just a regular guy. He's another guy. We weigh the same thing. And he finds a way to win, and I admire it.
Chael, what are the chances we actually see you share Brazilian barbecue with Anderson Silva?
I am starving. I could go for some Brazilian barbecue right now. But only if it's medium rare.
Kev?
Anderson, congratulations. Two questions. First of all, after the first round, you didn't get discouraged, even though it was kind of very similar to the first fight. I was wondering if you can talk about what was going through your mind. And secondly, if you can describe the final sequence in your eyes, how that happened, and whether you felt like the knee was the finishing punch or the decisive blow, or whether some other punches that maybe made the difference.
A primeira parte da pergunta era que no primeiro round, se você não perdeu nenhuma motivação, porque foi muito como a primeira luta, e a segunda parte foi que qual golpe foi que foi o início do fim da luta.
Todos os atletas que estão aqui em cima fazem parte de um grupo seleto de atletas, os melhores. A gente faz parte do melhor evento de MMA do mundo. E o Cheio veio preparado para lutar. E ele fez o que ele faz de melhor, que é botar para baixo. Só que a única diferença é que dessa vez eu não estava machucado. E a nossa estratégia era exatamente essa. Deixar ele usar o jogo dele e a gente travar o jogo dele no chão e depois imprimir o nosso jogo.
First of all, every one of these athletes that are up here are part of an elite group of athletes, of the best athletes in the world that fight for the best organization in the world. Chael came prepared. He came 100%. He did what he did best, which is take me down. And what we trained was to be prepared for that. The only difference this time is I wasn't hurt this time. And then I knew that in the second round I'd come back and do what I had to do.
And did you feel one of the punches was the one that kind of knocked Chael out, or was it the knee that you hit him with that kind of took the air out of him, in your opinion?
Tu acha que foi soco ou aquele joelhada que mudou o jogo para ele?
Não me lembro, tem que ver de novo.
I don't remember. I'll have to watch it again.
Anderson, congratulations on the victory. I have to ask you, there was unprecedented animosity towards Chael Sonnen that we've never seen from you before. Right now, after this fight, how do you feel about Chael Sonnen?
Tinha muita emoção contra o Chael Sonnen antes dessa luta que a gente nunca viu. Agora, como você se sente?
Eu me sinto feliz de poder ter feito meu trabalho, de poder estar aqui dando para os fãs do UFC a alegria que a gente deu hoje, não só para as pessoas que estavam aqui hoje, mas para todas as pessoas que assistiram o UFC. O Cheio fez o trabalho dele, assim como todos nós estamos aqui. Infelizmente, uns ganham e outros perdem, mas isso é normal, isso faz parte. A gente está aqui para fazer o espetáculo para todos vocês.
I'm very happy right now that I was able to go in there and put on a great performance. Chael came very well prepared, and I was able to put on a performance not only for everyone that was inside the arena, but everyone that watched the UFC all over the world.
Dana, a lot of people have said this is one of the most anticipated events of all time. Where does it rank? I mean, we have UFC 100. Where does UFC 148? Now, I understand you haven't seen the pay-per-view numbers yet, but considering the weigh-ins and everything else, all that's happened, fight week here in Vegas, where does this rank in your mind all time?
It's absolutely 100% the biggest fight we've ever done, by far. On Monday, we broke all records with UFC.com for the highest traffic ever. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day. Broke records every day the week of a fight. Tuesday's press conference is the most watched UFC press conference ever by 1,000,001. 1,000,001 more people watched that press conference than any other press conference ever. It's the biggest gate we've ever done in America, and everything is trending that this is possibly the biggest pay-per-view we've ever done.
Wow, well, congratulations. And Forrest, I'm sorry to belabor this point. I know you said you weren't thinking. I just want to pursue it a little bit farther, if you would so ingratiate me. You said you weren't thinking. Were you disappointed in your performance? Is that perhaps why you left? Can we pursue this just a little bit further? Again, I apologize. I know it's not a
I
comfortable
hate
thing.
to belabor this point, but I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I wasn't super pleased with my performance. You know, I talked to a lot of people, and the big emphasis was on finishing, et cetera, and I felt like I had an opportunity in a very close fight to finish it in the last minute, and you know, I didn't close that door. I left it in the judge's hands when I felt like I had an opportunity to. You know, when I got up from that takedown in the third, I felt like I had an opportunity to at least, you know, make it a more lopsided fight, and I didn't capitalize on that. I was just frustrated with it, you know. I waited till I heard his corner scream like 20 seconds before I did anything, you know.
Question for Anderson Silva. I'm over here, Anderson. Before you came in tonight, Dana White was saying you're probably the greatest. In fact, you are the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. And that in this sport, sometimes great fighters age very quickly. There was obviously no sign of that tonight. I spoke to you on Tuesday night, and you said to me that you think you could fight on for another 10 years in this sport. Are you going to carry on as long as you can, or will you choose a time to walk away before you begin to age?
O Dana falou que ele acha que você é o melhor lutador, antes dessa luta, que você é o melhor lutador de todos os tempos. E muitas vezes os melhores lutadores começam a diminuir o performance deles com idade e começa a acontecer muito rápido. A terça-feira, quando a gente teve a nossa entrevista, você falou que você está na cabeça para lutar mais 10 anos. Você ainda sente assim?
Claro. Eu amo fazer isso. Eu faço isso desde os meus 8 anos de idade. E toda vez que eu preparo o meu camping de treinamento, me dá uma satisfação muito grande de poder fazer parte desse grupo de atletas que estão aqui hoje. Então, enquanto eu tiver forças e tiver condições físicas e mentais para fazer o que eu faço, fazer o que eu amo, eu vou continuar fazendo.
I love what I do. I've been doing this since I was 8 years old. You know, every time I get ready for a fight and preparing for my fight with my team, you know, I enjoy it. I love what I do, and for as long as I can physically and mentally perform at the level that I perform, I plan on keep fighting.
And a question for both Dana and Tito, in a sense. On Thursday, Tito, on stage at the Palazzo, I can't remember where it was anyway, on the Thursday, said on stage that one of the last things he said when he was talking to the crowd there, the journalists and the fans, was he'd actually like a job in the UFC. Now, all week, and I think in the Octagon tonight, he put it all on the line in the Octagon. And the guy really genuinely speaks like an ambassador for the sport now. I think his words are headlines every time he speaks. I find that myself. Dana, I know that you guys have had your differences. Can you ever see a time when you actually employ this guy as an ambassador for the sport of UFC within your company?
Tito and I honestly have no beef with each other whatsoever. I don't. You know me. I'd tell you if I did. I'm cool with Tito. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. It lies in Dana's hands. You know, me and Dana had our differences. We're two alpha males, and when we have our ideas of what we think is right, we stick like that. We're very bold, and that's the way we think. Sometimes I shouldn't think that way. Maybe I should handle things a little different. I'm human. I learn from my mistakes, and I've learned. I've changed my whole attitude on life in general. You know, I'm no longer the bad boy. I no longer got, excuse my language, shit to talk. I believe in everything that Dana has done for me is for a good reason. You know, like I say, I remember, wow, it's been 13 years now when he came to my apartment and he says, let me manage you. I'm gonna do great for you. And I believed in him. And I lost a lot of focus because there's people always in my ear telling me what was right. And I believed in that, and I should have believed in Dana. And he got the better of me. He said some things that hurt me, and I mean...
Oh, he didn't say anything that hurt me at all. It was just me.
I don't know.
Listen, let's not turn this into a fucking intervention here, you know what I mean? Well, this is like an episode of Oprah or something. Listen, to put this in simple terms, we were in this sport when this thing was the Wild Wild West. You know, the UFC was not the top organization in the world. There were a lot of organizations around and a lot of other ones coming up. There were a group of guys that were incredibly loyal to this company, to me, and everything else. But you can't, it's just like I said about the Hall of Fame thing. Tito absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. The battle between me, Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell, and all the things that went down were part of the history of this company and part of the sport. It's some of the, it was some of the drama and some of the excitement that helped us get where we are today. You can't, you know, as mad as we get at each other and all the things that happen, you can't deny it. It's the absolute truth. And, you know, we'll see what happens. Time heals all wounds, so we'll see what happens.
And through my whole career, I've never tried to hurt the UFC ever. I just fought for what Dana taught me to fight for. And maybe I lost a little focus by doing that, but I've always been about the sport of growing it. And I've done every interview. I mean, any press that has ever done interviews with me, I have been here for the UFC. I have been here for the sport to press it on, to show that us fighters, we put our lives on the line when we fight each and every time, to excite the fans, to buy the pay-per-view, to buy the front row seats. And I think I've done my job by doing that. And when Dana did an interview a while back and saying I was one of the fighters who tried to hurt the UFC the most, that hurt me. I've never had an idea of doing that. So Dana, if you ever thought I tried to hurt the UFC, I apologize. I never wanted to do that. And it is what it is, man. I put my heart and soul. I've gone through surgeries that no other fighters came back and done. People have retired because of surgeries they didn't want to do. And I showed heart and determination because I wanted to step in and fight for the UFC and make it acceptable for social media. And I think I've done that.
My question is for Dana. Heidi Fang with MMA Fight Corner. I was curious if the UFC has any plans to open a physical Hall of Fame for the fans to visit, and if so, where would it be based?
Well, right now the Hall of Fame is at the Tough Gym. That's where the Hall of Fame is, and there's a lot of things in that building that really represent the history of this company. But I don't have any. No, we're not looking to open any Hall of Fame anytime soon. We got a lot of things to do before we start thinking about Hall of Fames.
My next question is for Anderson. A lot of fans have asked about a super fight between John Jones and you. Have you put any thought into actually doing that at a catchweight?
Muitos fãs estão querendo ver essa luta, super luta de você e o John Jones. Você já pensou em fazer essa luta?
Nope.
This is for Chad Mendes. Chad, you fought Aldo earlier this year, and you had a great win right here. What do you think that you need to do different to beat Aldo in a rematch?
Not get kneed in the face. I mean, I think going into that fight, I was the most mentally and physically prepared I've ever been for any fight. I think I did everything right, obviously, except for getting kneed in the face. So I would do everything the same. And, you know, I looked at the mistake that I made in that fight, and I saw what I did wrong. And hopefully that never happens again. But I would probably train and do everything exactly like I did before.
Was he tougher than you thought as far as like defending takedowns and things like that?
No, not at all. I mean, we expected, you know, he's a tough fighter, man. He's got great takedown defense, and he's very explosive and athletic. So we knew coming into that fight that I wasn't going to get, you know, every single takedown that I tried, you know. But that was the goal, to keep pushing it. Whether I shot and didn't get it, I'm going to shoot again. And if I don't get that one, I'm going to shoot again. and it's going to wear him out, and it was going to hopefully get him tired, and that was the goal. So, like I said, I knew I wasn't going to get every single takedown attempt.
And for Kung, as far as what goals do you have left fighting? I mean, you got a UFC win, you've got a movie career going on. I mean, what's when you're thinking about your career going forward? Do you want to fight how much longer? And
Well, right now I'm not. Oh, is that?
I don't know who is that for.
Is that for Kung?
For Kung, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm just gonna go and enjoy this win right now, and then just heal up and see what happens.
What he meant was, I'm going to get back in the gym, and I'd love to fight in China. I'm translating for Kung tonight.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go back in the gym and get ready for China.
Any more questions for Kung? Go ahead.
Question for Mike Easton. Mike, congrats on the win tonight. 3-0 in the UFC. What was it like for you to be a part of the main card of a great card like this? Huge card, and now you're 3-0. How are you feeling being undefeated in the UFC?
It feels unbelievable. It's a blessing, and I love fighting in the UFC. It's the best feeling in the world, and the whole world got to watch me tonight, and we put on a good show. All the fights were awesome, and sometimes I forget that I'm a UFC fan, and I started out watching the UFC, so it was awesome. It was good to be a part of history.
Silva, aquí, para Fox Deportes. Él va a traducir en portugués, ¿ok? Bueno, ya que invitaste al señor Sonnen a una barbacoa a tu casa Curitiba, pues ya que invitaste, ¿podemos ir todos nosotros?
I don't do Spanish.
Entendeu?
Oh, it's Spanish?
Ele falou que, como tu convidou o Shonan para fazer um churrasco, ele quer saber se tu pode ir todo mundo. Traduz aí, ó, de inglês.
What he said was if he's going to do a barbecue in Curitiba, if he's inviting everybody.
Nope.
All right, we're going to take a couple more questions.
This is Marcus Corva with MMA Nut, to your right.
Hey.
First question for Chad Mendes. What was different in this training camp, and would you want a title fight next?
One thing that was different in this camp is I actually got to come to Vegas for the Tough Show. We were here for about 3 months, and I got to train with Mark Delagrati and Phil Nurse, and we had some of the guys that actually just live here and train come in and work out with us, on a daily basis. We got to go to Sergio Pene's, learn some new jiu-jitsu and stuff. So it was good for me to kind of get out of the norm, and because we kind of just get used to doing the same things at Team Alpha Male, training with the same people, and everyone kind of figures each other out. So sometimes it's hard to practice new stuff on people in there. So it was good to get over here and work out with some new people and learn some new things, and I think it showed tonight.
And for Dana and Anderson, what do you want next? And Dana, what would you have on the horizon for Anderson?
Yeah, I think that, this was such a big fight and the buildup and everything else. You guys know I don't like to, we'll sit down, we'll get back, and there's a couple of fights that are coming up, and we'll decide who we think the #1 contender is to fight Anderson for the next title. But, it's just one of those things. I know I'm not thinking about it right now. I guarantee you he's not thinking about it right now.
Anderson, quem você gostaria de lutar
Maybe he
na
is. Let's
próxima
see.
luta?
Tem certeza que eles querem que eu responda isso?
Are you sure you want to hear my answer?
Oh, yeah, we want to hear it.
Meu clone.
My clone.
Mike, oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that one. The one opponent I can't get.
Lastly, for Chael, after your fighting career, have you ever considered stand-up comedy?
No, man, no, definitely not. But I'll always be with the sport, and whether it's with the company or if it's on the other side of the apron, just as a fan. But no comedy for me.
We'll take one more question. Go ahead, Joe.
Chill. I know it's a bad time to ask a question because you just finished losing there, but you want to get right back on the horse, or do you want to take an extended vacation?
No, I don't need a vacation. Definitely not. I like work. I like to get up early and go to bed late. It's tough, but unfortunately, it's not my first athletic defeat, man. It's tough. But in this sport, you got a 50% chance of failure. And you go out there, you bite down hard on your mouthpiece, and you do the best you can. But you gotta man up sometimes, and deal with it when it goes the other way too.
Dana, can you take one more?
What?
One more.
One more what?
Question.
Who's asking me?
Over here.
Go ahead, buddy. What do you got?
A quick question for Anderson Silva. Anderson, 10th straight title defense. Can you still get motivated for a fight in the middleweight division?
10 defesas de cinturão consecutivo. Você ainda tem motivação para se preparar para uma próxima defesa?
Tem muita motivação. O fato de estar aqui, podendo fazer o que eu gosto, poder ter... acho que todo mundo teve o privilégio de ver o que foi a pesagem. A gente nunca teve isso na história do UFC. E a minha maior motivação é poder estar aqui do lado de todos esses caras que fazem história. O Tito, que antes de eu pensar em lutar, o Tito já estava aqui fazendo história, e outros atletas que fizeram e fazem história dentro do UFC. Então essa é a minha maior motivação, poder fazer o que eu gosto, fazer o que eu amo e poder dar alegria para as pessoas que assistem o UFC.
Yes, I still have the motivation. What motivates me is to be involved with the sport and to kind of be like involved with that weigh-in that was just there, that broke all the records of how many people, and to be amongst the top athletes that are out here. And it's always motivating to be able to be amongst them. And you know, when you talk about a fighter like Tito Ortiz, who before I was even fighting, he was fighting, and stand up here amongst all of these great athletes, I still find the motivation to keep defending my title.
So before I wrap this thing up, I want to say something sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank all the media who participated in everything this week, and you guys were fantastic. The media that came in from all over the world, and you know, for the first time, a lot of the real mainstream media really got behind this fight, and we appreciate you very much, and we thank you from the bottom of our heart for all your hard work this week. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.